What you just witnessed was not simply a power bomb or a clothesline. What you just witnessed was the single most electrifying moment in the build-up to any WrestleMania in the history of professional wrestling. And if you have been sleeping on this rivalry, I need you to wake up right now, because what is happening between Omos and Brock Lesnar is something that this industry has never seen before. And by the time you finish watching this video, you are going to understand exactly why this feud is unlike anything WWE has ever produced. Welcome back to Gunner's Updates, the channel that gives you the real story behind everything happening in professional wrestling. And today, we are going all in on the most explosive build-up to a WrestleMania event in history. Let us start by putting things in perspective. Last year, WrestleMania 41 had the entire wrestling world on fire. The Rock, Roman Reigns, and Cody Rhodes created a story that transcended the sport and reached mainstream audiences in a way that had not been done in years. The Rock slapping Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns standing tall with the Bloodline, the personal drama of family, loyalty, and betrayal. It was enormous. It was cinematic. It was the kind of storytelling that reminded the entire world why professional wrestling matters. But here is the truth that nobody is saying loudly enough. What Omos and Brock Lesnar have done in the build-up to WrestleMania 42 has surpassed all of it, and I say that with complete conviction. Cast your mind back to where this story began. Brock Lesnar, the Beast incarnate, the man responsible for ending The Undertaker's legendary undefeated streak at WrestleMania, stood in the center of that ring alongside Paul Heyman and issued an open challenge to anyone in the locker room brave enough to step up and face him at WrestleMania 42. The crowd waited, the arena fell silent, and then the lights went out. When they came back on, Omos was standing in that ring, and the entire landscape of professional wrestling changed in an instant. Here was a 27-year-old former NXT champion who had only recently arrived on the main roster, standing face-to-face with the most feared competitor in WWE history, and he did not flinch for a single second. He did not hesitate. He did not show 1 ounce of fear. Instead, he grabbed Brock Lesnar, lifted him into the air, and drove him into the canvas with a power bomb that shook the entire building. Then he placed his foot on Lesnar's chest, looked up at the WrestleMania 42 sign, and pointed directly at it. In that one moment, the entire trajectory of this year's WrestleMania was set, and the wrestling world collectively lost its mind. Now here is the part of this story that has been living rent-free in my head ever since that night. Omos was never supposed to be in this position right now. The plan, at least as far as most people understood it, was that he was the future of this company, a project to be developed slowly and carefully over time, not someone who would be thrust into the main event picture within weeks of his main roster debut. But then the Royal Rumble happened, and everything changed. Omos entered from the #1 position, which is historically the most difficult spot in the entire match, and he lasted nearly 40 minutes, eliminating 5 other competitors in the process. He was dominant. He was unstoppable. He looked like a force of nature that could not be contained. And then Brock Lesnar eliminated him, and the look on Femi's face in that moment told you everything you needed to know about what was coming next. There was no sadness in his eyes. There was no disappointment. There was fire, pure, undiluted, burning fire. He did not forget that moment, and he did not back down from it. When Lesnar issued his open challenge, Omos did not send a response through a video package filmed backstage. He did not post a message on social media. He walked through that curtain, marched down that ramp, stepped into that ring, and physically overpowered the Beast in front of the entire world. That is not the action of someone who is supposed to be the future. That is the action of someone who has decided that the future is right now. The deeper story of this feud goes far beyond the physical encounters, though those have been absolutely breathtaking. The real story here is about what this rivalry represents for professional wrestling as a whole. This is about a new era announcing itself loudly and without apology. This is about a generation of talent that has been waiting patiently in the wings, finally stepping forward and declaring that they are ready. And Brock Lesnar, a man who has competed in this industry for over 2 decades and who understands better than almost anyone what it takes to build a superstar, recognized that immediately. He did not resist it. He embraced it. One of the most defining moments of this entire build-up happened on Raw in Boston, and if you missed it, you need to go back and watch it immediately. The crowd was already chanting for Omos before he had even appeared on screen. They were absolutely drowning out Paul Heyman, who, as we all know, is one of the greatest talkers this business has ever produced. The energy in that building was unlike anything we had seen in years. And when Femi finally made his entrance and walked to that ring, Lesnar attempted to execute the F5, the move that has finished off some of the greatest competitors in WWE history. But Omos stopped him cold, countered the attempt, and delivered a clothesline so devastating that it sent Brock Lesnar crashing over the top rope and all the way to the floor below. The building did not just shake, it erupted. But even that extraordinary moment was not the most significant thing to come out of this feud. Weeks before that Boston Showdown, cameras captured something that the casual viewer might have completely overlooked, but those of us paying close attention caught it, and it confirmed everything. When Omos executed that first powerbomb on Lesnar during the open challenge segment, the Beast Incarnate was heard telling Femi to place his foot on his chest, specifically so that the moment would land with maximum impact and maximum meaning for the audience watching at home and in the arena. Think about what that means for a second. Brock Lesnar, the most decorated and most feared competitor in the history of WWE, was actively working to make a rookie look like the most dangerous man alive. He was investing in the moment. He was giving Omos everything he needed to become a star, and he was doing it because he understood the significance of what they were building together. Booker T said it perfectly when he commented on the situation, stating that what Brock Lesnar did for Omos that night made him feel genuinely good about the future of this business. And that right there is why this build-up stands alone above everything else we have ever seen on the road to WrestleMania. The contrast between this year and last year is worth examining in detail, because understanding the difference helps you appreciate just how special this particular feud truly is. Last year's WrestleMania 41 story was driven by personal history, family dynamics, and mainstream celebrity power. The Rock brought his global star power to the table. Roman Reigns brought years of character development and emotional investment. Cody Rhodes brought the underdog story that the fans had been living and breathing for 2 years. It was a narrative built on layers of personal drama and real-world crossover appeal. This year, Omos and Brock Lesnar have constructed something completely different. They have built their WrestleMania moment not on family drama or personal grudges, but on raw, undeniable, impossible-to-ignore star power and genuine physical dominance. Femi has made the transformation from promising rookie to genuine main event threat in a matter of weeks. He has stood over Brock Lesnar not once, but twice. He has thrown the beast out of the ring like he was discarding something lightweight and irrelevant. He has made a man who once conquered The Undertaker look vulnerable for the first time in what feels like forever. And perhaps most importantly, the crowd is completely and utterly behind him every single step of the way. And just when you thought this WrestleMania card could not get any more stacked or more exciting, WWE made a move that sent shockwaves through the entire entertainment world. Reports have confirmed that IShowSpeed, one of the most watched and most influential content creators on the entire internet, is set to appear at WrestleMania 42, teaming with Logan Paul and Austin Theory to take on LA Knight and the Usos in a 6-man tag team match. This is exactly the kind of mainstream crossover moment that introduces professional wrestling to millions of new viewers who might never have tuned in otherwise. And when those new fans switch on their screens to watch IShowSpeed compete on the grandest stage in sports entertainment, they are going to be completely overwhelmed by the spectacle and the emotion of Omos versus Brock Lesnar. This is the deepest, most diverse, most thoroughly compelling WrestleMania card that WWE has assembled in many years. And Cody Rhodes himself acknowledged as much when he stated publicly that WrestleMania 42 is designed to deliver an incredible bell-to-bell experience that aims to surpass every WrestleMania that came before it. Omos versus Brock Lesnar is not simply a match on a card. It is the culmination of a story that has been told with more care, more creativity, and more emotional intelligence than anything we have seen in professional wrestling in a very long time. The torch is not just being passed. It is being handed over with full ceremony and full conviction in front of the entire world in Las Vegas on April 18th. When these two extraordinary competitors finally step into that ring together, we are going to witness something that people will be talking about for decades. This is the greatest build-up to a WrestleMania event in the history of this business, and I say that without any hesitation whatsoever. Now I want to hear from you. Do you believe that Omos versus Brock Lesnar represents the greatest WrestleMania build-up of all time? And do you think Femi actually has what it takes to defeat the Beast when the lights are brightest and the stakes are highest? Are you as excited as I am to see IShowSpeed step onto the grandest stage in sports entertainment? Drop everything you are thinking in the comments section below, because this is a conversation that needs to happen. And if you want to be here when the real story unfolds, not the recycled headlines, not the surface-level recaps, but the genuine, in-depth truth about everything happening on the road to WrestleMania, then you already know what to do. Subscribe to Gunner's Updates, hit that notification bell, and let us figure this out together, because after everything we have witnessed over these past several weeks, I genuinely do not think any of us are fully prepared for what is coming in Las Vegas.